Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Very Biased Opinions on this very exciting Saturday. Ian is dead. I'm sorry, he's got nothing left. As you can see on the screen in front of you, he is exhausted. We have just watched an absolute cracker of a football game. It ended Shrewsbury 2, Oxford United 3. The playoffs are still on. Oxford United are still on. Everything is still good in this fair city of the Ox. Ian, how are you doing?
I can't keep doing this. I can't keep. It's taken years off my life, Thomas, and it might all be for nothing. But at the moment, oh my God, I'm delighted. What another great and wonderful comeback victory for Oxford United here today. If you thought the Gillingham game was tense, whew, you ain't seen nothing yet.
No idea.
When Oxford really needed it, when the chips were down, Oxford found a way to win this game today, and it was nervy. And in the end, once they got 3-2 ahead, it was nervy in those last few moments as well. But torture. But at the once I settle down out of this torturous state, I will be absolutely delighted. I'm delighted that Oxford have shown the character to take this playoff chase to the final day of the season. We know now that it is Oxford have to win the game against Burton Albion and hope on a Portsmouth slip up. I think Charlton need to win both of their games as well. But in the short term, we don't know what Charlton are going to do on Tuesday. We know that if Portsmouth do slip up and Oxford do get a win, or if Oxford get a draw and Portsmouth lose, then Oxford, all likelihood, will be in the playoffs, which is a fantastic achievement for at times this season. We look like we'll be absolutely nowhere near.
Huge game. Ian, do you want to go over the starting lineups for us?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Look, it's there were changes. There's changes that I not necessarily would have made. Brandon Barker came in, and so him coming back into Shodipo is a good move because Shodipo looks bang out of form. So it's great to have him back from injury. I thought Henry had a 3-match ban. He obviously only had a 1-match ban because he came back in to centre midfield with along with Sykes, and Brannigan was still in the holding role. And they chose to always the fall guy, although that should be Lee Majors. Agyei went out of the side again, but Elliot Lee, Elliot Lee's still a good player. I'm happy to see him starting. I just would like to see Agyei starting in more games than not. But a strong Oxford lineup. It's one that we kind of hoped that Shrewsbury would lie down and die for us this afternoon and make it an easy game. That's what we all hoped for. But it wasn't the case. Clearly, they had revenge in their sights for the recent victory we had over them at the Kassam. Shrewsbury's lineup, they're a good side. We thought they looked, from what we saw of them recently, they look good going forward. And I always highlight Chapman, what a great player he is. But they look good going forward. Suspect at the back, so you hope that Oxford would have enough quality to beat them. And they got off to a perfect start, Tom.
We're 3 minutes into the game and Oxford opened the scoring, and it was a hell of a first half, although for Oxford fans it didn't end that well. But do you want to talk us through the goals?
Yeah, so we couldn't have asked for a better start in this one. Mark Sykes dispossessed a Shrewsbury midfielder and just ran through it. It created like a 3-on-2 overload for Oxford. He just about got the ball through to Matty Taylor, who instead of shooting for once, did the smart option and laid a easy side ball onto Elliot Lee, who had an open goal and tapped it in. So 3 minutes into the game, Oxford have a dream start here, and you thought that Oxford could build on that and lead and make it a nice, comfortable afternoon. But as we know, that wasn't the case. And rather than building on it, we allowed Shrewsbury right back into the match. They camped in our half, really, after the goal, and they had corner after corner after corner, and eventually one of them told a good ball in, free header for Pennington, and he delivered it into the top corner. Stevens had no chance, and we were back to as you were, really, Oxford hoping for a reaction, but nothing really happening in the game. It was very edgy, very scrappy, but inexplicably it was more poor defending by Oxford, where everybody just seemed to stop. And I'm not sure whether Ruffles was appealing for a handball, but everybody just seemed to stop, and it allowed Josh Vella to just run in behind. He was one-on-one with Stevens. Again, a really calm, good finish into the bottom corner. And from all the adulation from being 1-0 up, we were suddenly 2-1 down after 25 minutes, and seemingly with a mountain to climb to rescue anything back from this season. we were good. We were quite relieved to get to half time, really, at 2-1 down, because Shrewsbury did create chances. They certainly had efforts on goal where they could have done better and could have gone 3-1 up, but it was 2-1 at half time, and Oxford left like they were last season against Shrewsbury, with a mountain to climb.
Yeah, I think everybody on the live stream was feeling pretty down at halftime. There's just a series of defensive errors in that first half, and I think Oxford might have actually been lucky to only be 2-0 down. It felt like there was a small period in there after the first goal and the second goal, and this always happens when you can see a goal where Oxford defensively were just at 6s and 7s. Yeah. So 2-1 at halftime. You were looking for a response. We even spoke about it on the stream. Season's on the line. You know Pompey are winning. Just go out there and do it. And Ian, they did do it.
They did do it, absolutely right. I mean, and from the first half point of view as well, credit to Shrewsbury. They played well. You know, they
really well.
They didn't do what we wanted to do. And they, as I said, they did look good going forward, and they caused us a lot of problems. As the second half went on, they did start to get deeper, and Oxford did start to get better. It wasn't an instant response at the start of the second half, but they did grow into the game, and chances started to come, and it needed a bit of quality. We felt like it was going to be one of those games where the chances would come and go, but it needed a bit of quality, and it certainly came. A ball that was played in from the back, Henry with a beautiful little spin dummy, which meant that Elliot Lee could control the ball into the area. He played it back to Henry, who found a couple of yards of space. It was a wonderful first-time finish into the bottom corner, and Oxford were back on level terms. And let me just say, for all those idiots, and you are idiots, that were questioning James Henry and saying about his decision-making for the second season in a row is the reason why we're not in the playoffs. Well, I know we're not in the playoffs, so you can still say that, but what have you got to say about that now? What a quality move, what a quality finish from James Henry. So don't just always look at the negative, look at the positives of what this man has got. Right, into the area. Charles and it's 2-2. It is 2-2 now. Great. We said it was building. I think that was actually James Henry, but it's Elliot Lee again who's done really well. It was build-up play by Oxford, and I think it was Lee who got the ball in the area. He was able to hold it up and play it to Henry, and it's a lovely first-time side foot finish from him. It set up a grandstand finish there, Tom, and I don't know how you felt, but from my point of view, it felt like the winner was going to come in this match.
Oxford were going hell for leather at the end of the game. They really were attacking, and because of that, they were giving up opportunities at the back. It was so stressful watching this with you and the other Oxford fans. There was a moment, like a serious level of time in that game, where no one typed any messages to us for like 5 minutes because everyone was just like on edge, don't know what's happening. But I think they got a late winner, Ian.
They did. Maybe not late enough for our liking, but the winner was scored by Dan Agyei. And as you know, if you follow this channel, we're massive fans of Agyei, and we'd always like to see him starting in an Oxford shirt because we just think he adds so much value, and he's always just such a handful to play against. And you could see the Shrewsbury players didn't enjoy it. As soon as he comes on, anything that's like even slightly close to him, he's able to kind of shield the ball and wriggle free and create space for himself. Such an awkward player to play against, but when he's your player, he can be frustrating at times. Like he looks like he'd fall over a banana skin when he's clean through, but he does do the good stuff too. Look, a couple of chances did come and go. A couple of chances to Ruffles. It felt like Ruffles was going to be the hero again, but it wasn't to be. But again, eventually it came to Dan Agyei, and I'll probably splice in my reaction for maybe all the goals, maybe just for the two.
It was good.
And the third one, but it was a good one. But it came to Agyei found a little bit of space in the box. He was able to get a shot away. It was one of those bobbly shots. I'm not sure if it took a deflection, but it went into the bottom corner. Delight for Oxford. But I've got to tell you, Tom, that came with like 10 minutes to go, or what turned out to be 15 minutes to go. It was not
almost
fun.
20.
Not a wow. 50, let's say 15. Chipped into the area. Is Agyei going to get there? Agyei on the turn. Agyei scores! Oxford are winning! Oxford are winning! Dan Agyei with the... Unbelievable stuff. Another super chat from PJ Simpson. We have a feeling that Sean might be a Swindon fan in the chat, so good timing, Sean. It was a torturous last 15 minutes for me.
It was extremely tough to watch that with you. You were on edge. It was immense. You did very well, though, Ian. You really did. You
Yeah,
stuck
it was
with it.
tough.
You described everything that happened to everybody.
I mean, it's such a weird thing what pressure does. Like when you would say Oxford were all over Shrewsbury getting that third goal, and as soon as you get it, it's like you almost inexplicably, the mentality is almost like shit. We're in the lead, got to defend that at all costs. And of course, it just invites Shrewsbury back out to play football again. And all of a sudden, they haven't been in the game for like 20 minutes, and they start like being able to pump balls into the box and cause trouble. And it really, really felt like they were going to get that equaliser at the end. And Jack Stevens made a couple of great saves. He didn't really have much to do, but great concentration from Stevens. What he had to do, he did very well. A couple of key saves. One of them in particular was fantastic, where it looked like a header was going into the top corner. But Oxford just invited the pressure, and there were a couple of chances that just went wide. And finally, Oxford were able to just sort of run the game down in Shrewsbury's half, get over the line, and get a fantastic 3-2 victory.
Indeed. Huge win, huge game, Ian. They are now remaining 1 point off Pompey. Their goal difference is 2 better. It's going to come down to the last game of the season, which we are live streaming next week. I believe it's a 12 o'clock kickoff, if I'm not wrong.
12 o'clock on Sunday next week.
Huge game versus Burton. I mean, honestly, you guys, if you like matches of football, just go onto our live stream and watch the final half an hour of the Oxford game, this last one. It was nuts. It was awesome. It was so much fun to share it with everybody. What are your closing thoughts to this, Ian?
Well, I mean, just going back to the start of it, it was a must-win game for Oxford United. So all they could do was win this game, and credit to them for doing it. But obviously they had to do it the hard way. But good that they were able to take this to the final day of the season. It's obviously Portsmouth are in the driving seat here. Any sort of a slip up, and Oxford have to make sure that they're able to take advantage of it. It would be awful if this final game of the season with Burton ended with a defeat, and then you look over and see that Portsmouth have dropped points as well. So Oxford have to get this job done in the final game of the season, at least from their part. If Portsmouth win, then so be it. But on today, just great battling spirit from Oxford. At times they were poor. There's no getting away from it. At times they looked a bit ropey at the back. But they found a way to win, and the players didn't give up. They kept going. I actually think Robinson, he made some good subs. He made some good decisions, and Oxford looked like it felt like it was a matter of time before that winner was going to go in, and Oxford held firm. So, as I usually say, enjoy it, Oxford fans. It's a great victory. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend. Maybe have a few little cheeky sherbets down your local, and just be proud of your side because they've done well today.
Thank you so much for watching. Please smash the like button. If you guys are enjoying this channel, please consider joining us on Patreon. Our details are on the screen and they're down below. All I need to do is thank Matt Uranka from Grandstand Bettors, Robert Allen, Matthew Bowden, PJ Simpson for their support alongside our other 3 Patreon backers. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Join us next week for League One predictions, and 12 o'clock Saturday, the something of May. It is D-Day. Join us for the final match of the League One season.
It's so tense.